You know, typically for these first impressions, I try to get some sort of stinger to grab people's attention, like, oh, this show has this, and so you want to watch the rest of this video to find out why. But unfortunately, for Hero Without a Class Who Even Needs Skills, I barely have anything, I'm sorry. But there is two things in this show that you might be interested in. One is an extremely doty big sister who looks like a little sister, and a mother who looks straight out of Do You Love Your Mom and her two-hit multi-target attacks. The MILF character. But anyways, let's just actually dive into the show, and hopefully some people out there might find something interesting here. There's a lot of cases where a show doesn't really seem like it's going to work for me, but for other people, they're like, hey, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So let's dive into it. The series opens up in a world where, at the age of 10, everybody receives a class. And we have our main character, Errol, is going to the ceremony. And when he arrives, everybody's expecting like some crazy job or class or something, because in a lot of cases, people will inherit abilities from their parents. His mother is this well-known swordsman. His father is this archmage. So sure enough, he's going to have something, right? Nope. The priest goes, I don't see anything. You must be classless. And this shocks everybody. There's even this whole bit afterwards where the parents are going, you know, we won't retire. Don't worry. We'll keep working. We'll support you. Don't worry. Just keep your chin up, boy. The sister's literally like, I'm going to change the world so that everything's great for you. Don't worry, little brother. I'm going to take care of you. But this doesn't keep Errol down. This is a guy that doesn't like losing. Like, we get a sign of this when the mother takes the sister off to the side to kind of calm her nerves and shows her, like, all these training swords he has, because he's been training with his mother for like his entire life. And we see like the fruits of that labor in the idea that he goes to this training ground where there's these two boys that just received swordsmen, and he takes them both down at the same time. Like, he's very skilled in swordsmanship. He just doesn't have that given ability that you get from receiving the class. But he's not like incredible, as we see like this one boy shows up out of nowhere and wants to take down Errol to prove that his family is better than Errol's family. There's this whole jealousy thing where this particular boy, which I believe her name is Reina, this particular boy, their father is the head of the guard. And her father all the time shows up at Errol's house to recruit his mother to help him take down demons. This entire village knows how incredible Errol's mother is, and so Reina is sort of jealous of that. So to prove that her family is better, she wants to take down Errol. And yes, prove to him that a classless can't step up against a swordsman. And yeah, sure enough, she beats Errol using a twin blade ability. So yes, while his innate abilities in swinging a sword is great, his tactics, his agility, when it comes to actual abilities, that's where something can overcome him. But this is where we get into what sort of makes Errol special. Because he doesn't like to lose, he keeps pushing forward. He doesn't let this kind of keep him down. And through this, we find out that he's able to actually mimic the skills that was used on him. As he trains and trains alone, eventually he does pull off using this twin blade ability. Following this, he hears somebody in trouble. He ends up having to go save them from this hobgoblin. It ends up being this person, Reina. And then he reveals to Reina that he's able to pull off this twin blade ability. And not only that, but he's also able to make evolve, making into basically a triple strike. And that's pretty much the gist of Hero Without a Class Who Even Needs Skills. So my thoughts on this show. Yes, let's get this out of the way. This is another show about people that get assigned jobs at the age of 10, and our main character gets given some sort of useless job or no job at all that we've seen 100 damn times, like the Weakest Tamer, Fruit Master, etc., etc. So what does this show do different that will catch people's attention maybe? I guess it's more probably in the fact that Errol himself is a pretty decent guy, although I will admit that he is kind of boring in that regard as well. This is a guy that's just like, I'm going to try harder. I'm never going to lose. Don't worry about me. I'm going to figure this out. And it starts to kind of evolve towards a later part into the idea this is a person that tries to push his own limits. When it comes down to his future and the idea that he's able to mimic abilities, it does get into the idea that he wants to see how far this classless will go, which I do believe may end up turning into different directions. The idea that either a classless person is actually the OP class that nobody ever kind of experiments with. The idea that a classless could be the idea that they can do anything. Could he be able to do magic like his father did, along with the idea of using swordsman skill like his mother? Is he able to be a blacksmith? He's able to do everything. Or is it going to go in the direction that literally everybody can do any abilities? It's just that when you get assigned a job, it's sort of a bump. Like, it just gives you a starting point, basically. It gives you basic skills that you can build off of rather than you having to start from scratch. I think it's probably going to go more for the later, because he sort of does mention that to an extent to Reina after he defeats her in a duel. And the idea that, yeah, that's your idea of the skill itself, but that doesn't apply to me because I learned it through just kind of keeping and trying it. So that's sort of his character. And honestly, it's not annoying like a lot of other characters can be, where they're whining all the time about the fact they're jobless or they're just super hyper genki. It's more going to the realm of he's just an okay guy that works hard for what he gets. Sort of in the realm of something like, I guess, Parry Everything. Just not oblivious like he is, where they don't realize how strong they are. He's got confidence in what he does. But because I find him kind of boring, that does technically mean that this show has been sort of carried by the supporting cast, which does scare me because my assumption is that Errol is going to very quickly leave home. He's going to want to go to this sword training place, and he's going to have to leave behind the characters that are making it entertaining. Yes, the big sister and the mom. Those two characters really made the show for me so far. The sister is extremely doty. This is a girl that wants to wake him up with a good morning kiss and wants an apology kiss when he bumps her in the head. She's constantly saying that she's going to change the world in order for the world to accept him. She's just a goofball. She's overly worried for her brother. I don't recall them actually mentioning what job she got, but again, it implies the fact that she wants to change the world in order for him to fit in. So maybe she's like, I don't know, has the class skill of government official or something like that. Who knows? But no, the mother, I think, was like most of the laughs that I had in this episode. She is just massively OP. And she kind of fits in that whole category of do you love your mom and her two-hit multi-target attacks. She's the MILF character, the Ada Ada character that is like extremely powerful. I love all the little flashbacks of her training Errol, just swatting him like she's swinging a bat and he just goes flying. The fact that, yeah, again, Reina absolutely hates this mom because everybody, despite the fact that her father is so incredible and he's the head of the guard and everybody should look up to him as the most powerful swordsman. No, everybody still goes to the mom. This mom that's not even like a guard anymore. She's just retired. She's living in a village in this little hut. She's more important than my dad. I just love it. The fact that she can't not admit the fact that the mother is the most OP person in the entire village. I love it. I got a huge kick out of all the scenes that the mother was in. And again, that all kind of makes me fearful in the idea that what I've loved so far in the show is two characters that, again, are probably going to get left behind. He's going to go to another town. He's going to follow Reina, probably go off to this training place, and we'll never see those characters ever again. Might see them in flashbacks. Maybe every now and then Errol will recall some memory of his mother training him, and it'll have some funny moment with her. But it sucks. It really does suck. Outside of that, though, the story and the world itself, again, I'm in the realm of something that is very familiar, and I hope that it at least does something unique with it. And again, that could fall in the idea of him sort of teaching other people that you're not limited by what your class is. That's just something that people assume because it's a great starting point. A blacksmith can become a cook. It doesn't necessarily need to fall in that realm. It's just, again, it's giving you that starting point. It's giving you that point that you can start off of and build off of very easily. And maybe he can bring that to his harem that he possibly will have for the rest of the series and teach all of them that they can kind of build outside of that. They don't have to fall in that mold. And that could technically give them a massive edge to anybody else. And the idea that most people will assume that all you can do is dual blade, but then you cast a fireball or something. There's some other aspects that they've kind of added to the world building. The idea that the goddess does give every single person at birth some sort of divine protection, some kind of battle aura or something like that that protects you from attacks, but it can also shatter at some point. So it's not like perfect. Everybody carries around like these life potions that will essentially heal you up in order to, save your life. But most of the building is going to the idea of how much the world itself relies on the classes that are given to them by the goddess and how that makes or breaks your future. I don't know if that'll actually be something that will be like a focal point going forward, but we'll see. I do also have a hope that there could be some interesting stuff that will come out of him evolving abilities. And the idea that he had this twin blade ability used on him, he examined it, he was able to reproduce it, but then he was able to evolve it. And they didn't really get into specifics on if that's something that everybody can do or if it's something that only he can do. Is that the aspect of classless that you can essentially break out of the norms and do something different? It being possibly some sort of subclass, could it be possible to evolve anything? Could he evolve a fireball into something else? But that's pretty much the show so far. Visually, it's okay. I didn't really kind of find it to be impressive in any way. A lot of the shots of the characters look very kind of plain. The character designs themselves and the artwork was very plain. I hate saying this all the time. It falls in the category of at least it's not Tabot. At least it's not Tabot for this first episode. At least it's animated better than Tabot. The fight sequences are decent. It's not too bad. Anyways, that is my thoughts so far on Hero Without a Class. Hope you guys enjoy this video as always. If you did, hit the like button down below. If you are going to be checking out the show, if you're like, yeah, that's actually interesting to me, let me know in the comments down below. Additionally, if you want to support this content, become a member of the channel. But until next time, I'll be covering all the shows of the season, so make sure to subscribe. Until next time, y'all take care.